Hey there everybody, back in the shop today, but not unfortunately to work on the trailer, but kind of to work on the trailer. It's actually to fix something so that I can work on the trailer. You see, my buddy gave me this nice old air compressor. However, the power cord is pretty much shot. It does plug in, it does run. However, I want to put a new one on there that I was able to get from a friend of mine here. And so that means I've got to take off this little cover here and get in there to replace this cord. Alright, so once I screwed it off of there, I was able to see that this actually just popped right off. There wasn't any screws or anything in there. I wasn't sure because there's that little piece of metal right there that I thought might have to like unclip, but nope, it just came right off of there like that. So now we are sitting here with this. I mean, this is so old, guys. The plastic on both of these is just coming right off. But I'm not really sure what to do about that because that one here goes into here. And I don't know anything about motors. So, not real sure what I'm going to do about that. I might have to have my pops come over and take a look at it. Alright, so what I just did is I took the new cord and I cut a length off of it so that I could go from the motor down to the controller. And I have stripped off and gotten the wires prepped. So what I think I'm going to do is, because there is 3 wires and I don't want to get these messed up, not that it really horribly matters, but there are places like the green wire is going over here. There's a black wire going to a little screw right here, and then the white wire. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to get this thing loose here so that that's out of the way, and then I can hook up each one of these good wires at the same time as I'm disconnecting the old bad wire. Alright, that little piece came out without any trouble. I was kind of afraid it was going to break, but it didn't. Alright, so now you can really see where each one of these goes, right? So you got the black wire that goes over here, the white wire here, and then you've got the ground right here that's just connected to a little clip that connects to the box. So now I can do each one of those one at a time as I screw in the new one into it. Oh. This whole thing just comes right apart like that, so you can put it on after everything's all hooked up. It might be easier to do this if I had this connected up here, but being as how it's on the workbench and stuff, I think I'll be fine with it right there. Now I do need to cut off more of the sheeting here. There's a car alarm going off in the background. It's not my car, so sorry guys. Let's start out with this black one in the back here. Now this green one is just on a little clip here. All right, so now this just clips on. Might be the hardest part right here, is just getting that put back in. This is about the same size cord, so it shouldn't be that hard. There we go. Alright, one down, one more to go. Now before I do the back one here, I'm going to go ahead and call my pops to see what he has to say about getting into the motor. Alright, so I wasn't able to get a hold of my pops, but I did end up taking off this little cover. So as we can see, you know, it comes in here. There's a little notch on the side here. And then you've got your ground right away, which is just held in with the plate and a screw. And then you've got your black one here, which it doesn't look like they're screwed in or bolted in. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at that not through the camera. And then down here we've got our white, which is now a yellow color. After taking a closer inspection of this, it looks like I should just be able to reach my pliers in there, and there we go. So I'll need to get a couple of those ends like that. And then for the bottom white one, alright, there we go. So I may have to go to the hardware store because my little kit of wire clamps and stuff doesn't have this particular shape in it, and I'm not sure that there's really room in there to put one of the ones that I do have. So looks like I'm going to be going to the hardware store.
For Mom's green side, farm fresh 8 to 12-inch hanging baskets starting at just $9.99. For Mom's bling side, gorgeous Montana silver jewelry 15 to 20% off. For Mom's cool side, take 25% off women's dash capris or shorts. And for Mom's practical side, a 12-piece copper cookware set is $49.99, which is all moms of very...
Alright, so unfortunately they didn't have the exact ends that I needed. However, they did have these that I was pretty sure that I already had some of, which I'm pretty sure that I do in here somewhere, are the same sizes as these. However, I'm going to go ahead and use these, and I'm going to just have to bend it over. One of the guys at the store said that it should be fine as long as I only bend it once. If I do it more than that, it's going to break. So I'm going to go ahead and strip out both ends of this. That way I don't got to do it while it is on the machine here. And then I can go ahead and hopefully just bend those over so that they'll fit. Alright, now that this is all together and both sides are tight in there, so I shouldn't have any problems with that. I'm going to double check here. It looks to me like everything is where it's supposed to be. And now I can officially put this on. Kind of squeezes together here. Oops, put it on backwards. There we go. There's no real difference except for the sticker, and there's a little hole right there if you wanted to put a lock screw in the top. Alright, now before I connect up that back, I'm going to go ahead and screw this back on there. Now there wasn't any plumber's tape or anything on the threads when I took it off of there, so I'm not going to put any on, just because I don't know about that kind of stuff. So if you know better and you think that I should put plumber's tape or something on it, go ahead and let me know. Alright, so we got the ground in place, we got the black and white wire in place, and that just goes down there. So now all I should have to do is flip this up. Alright, there we go. I did something, guys. Of course, I probably could have made this quite a bit shorter, and I may still do that if it ends up getting caught on a lot of stuff, but I think for right now anyway, that's perfectly fine. As you see, I got the tag back on here. It's kind of sticking out right there. I don't think that's an issue though. And then of course I've got the front one done, the power one, and this is supposed to go up to 100 psi. So now I guess it's just a matter of if it starts on fire when I plug it in. So fingers crossed, here we go. It's running, no sparks. Now let's see if it gets up to 100 PSI. First test. It's definitely pumping up. Showing 100 PSI here, so hopefully it'll turn off. I unplugged it here because it wasn't getting up to 100 PSI, and as you can hear, sounds like I feel like there's air coming out of there. Okay, so when I press down on here, it stops leaking. So maybe that got loose. It just kept leaking, so I actually messed with that a little bit and turned it back on to see at what point I could get it close to that 100 to stop leaking. It wasn't ever turning itself off, and it also was leaking really, really badly. There was a lot of air coming out of it, and it wouldn't ever get up to 100 PSI. Well, the reason why is because of this little seal right there, that in between this gold color and the box, there's that seal that was leaking really badly. And it's still actually got a little leak right now, but it's not enough to really make a huge difference while I'm working with the machine. So I'm just going to call it good for right now until I can see about maybe getting a different seal for it. I just put a little bit of grease around it, and that seemed to help quite a bit. Now to see if this thing will work, I've got to fill up my tire here for my wheelbarrow. So let's see if I can get that thing to seal with this air pump. And that concludes today's project in the shop. It took longer than I was hoping that it would, but at least now I have an air compressor that will go at least up to 100 PSI, which means I can fill up tires, I can run the nail gun, and yeah. So I'm happy that I got that working thanks to my buddy and my friend who helped me take a double look at it to figure out where the air was coming from or leaking out of. And I'm happy to say I now have a little air compressor. So yeah, thanks for coming along on this little fix-it project with me today. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so that you don't miss any unscheduled videos that I put out. And until next time, as always, you have a good one.